Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the Welcome to another show. How are you guys doing on this 20th of August? Happy birthday, mom. It's her birthday today. So in the comments, I want some happy birthday, mom. Thank you. Today's a very special video. This is actually the nature garden today is amazing, but it's actually something we talked about a bit before, and it was the rock in the hard place. And I was talking about how making content pushed me, right? So already we've been filming content for an hour, which is not a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, and it's not a lot. But in that hours, a lot of things happen. I've been feeling better and better and better, and I understand that the way to heal is through making content. The way that causes me pain is by making content, and it's weird because it's the antidote is also the poison. So what are you supposed to do when the poison is the antidote? Well, it's the same thing as balance. If something hurts you more than it makes you happy, don't do it. If something makes you more happy than it hurts you, don't stop. Stop. Sorry. And I have yet to figure if it hurts me more or makes me more happy. You have to figure that out. However, I know I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll always stand because this is what we believe in. This is what we aim to do. This is what I hope to do. It's not so much about. I know it's gonna sound goofy AF, but it's never or never was about like. See, I had a beautiful comment by Cappy yesterday, and that comment was, "You're only big enough. It's only mean that you're big enough for them to notice you, the haters." And then you realize that you see all of those stars, and you're like, "I wish I never did that. I wish I was somebody that nobody knew." And you think it's bullshit until you realize it. And I'm not saying I'm a celebrity. I'm not saying I'm famous, but you do understand, even right now. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to completely ignore the haters, because again, I think that if you ignore the haters, it's because you don't necessarily care. And of course, you can say, yeah, well, it's hurting me a lot. So because it's hurting me a lot, I'll ignore them. But it still hurts you. You know, and I found it beautiful, and it was again ADHD. That pushed me to say Sisyphus and the rock, right? But it's exactly that, and it's the fact that I understand. The fact that you understand. It's weird because last week, I've been giving the Quran to read, the Quran by the guy who fixed the phone, right? I've been reading it a little bit, and it's weird because the I hope I don't offend anybody, but the teaching there remind me of a book I've read about 4 or 5 years ago, which was 12 Steps to Stop Drinking, which is the Alcoholic Anonymous booklet. And I've been reading that a lot, you know. And one of the first steps is understanding the issue. And of course, there's an addiction to social media. There's an addiction there. It isn't a complete addiction. There's not a day. And it's weird, but the number of views, the number of followers don't bother me, right? It doesn't bother me how high it goes. It doesn't bother me how much views I get. It doesn't bother me how much likes I get. I'm extremely grateful. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't affect me because I'll make content. I was making content when I had 0 views. I was making content when I had 0 likes. So when I'm gonna have those, it's gonna be super cool, you know. But the fact that social media is an addiction in a way, in multiple ways. It started about 5 years ago. I was working in a place, right? And I talk about this work a lot. It sounds like an excuse when it's not an excuse. That place was a lot of Romanian people, and I love that place, and I love the Romanians because they treated me like family. It's weird. What I'm gonna say, it's very mean, but I have to be honest. The Romanian really took me in. They made me understand each culture. They really like took me like a brother, right? And they were really inclusive, not intrusive, inclusive. However, I did see a lot of new guys. I did see new people that were not me, that weren't accepted. I saw a lot of people that weren't treated the way I was. I was treated pretty nicely. I was really treated well, and I think it's the fact that I was interested in learning the culture. I was interested in learning Romanian. To me, it was just fun because the work it changed. It's crazy how much it changed. When I started at the place where I was working, which is PCT, It wasn't that much work. It wasn't that much work. At the end, it became very, very busy. So what happened was, and again, this is not. It doesn't have anything to do with the subject, but still, at the beginning, my boss was the boss, and at the end, the company was bought, and my boss was a part owner, part manager. However, we're getting more orders, so more works. But the beginning, it was very chill. It was a really chill place. I remember afternoon, one of the best afternoons I've had was listening to the soccer. Listening to soccer with the boys. It was just phenomenal. It was just a good memories, you know? And yeah, it's the social, to go back to social media. I'm sorry, it's emotional, you know? To go back to social media, I had a period where work was boring because I didn't talk the language, and it wasn't. I could ask them, "Hey, what do you? What are you talking about?" And I don't think there's once where they were like, "No, no, it's not for you." They always included me, but I didn't want to be the guy. That was That was my choice. I wasn't the guy who's always said, "Hey, let me learn," right? And I learned eventually Romanian, but at the first whole time, I didn't have the. I wanted to learn a little bit, but not enough, you know, just to pass the time, right? The reason for that is pretty simple. I was working for an agency which was Belarus. I've been working there for years and never got hired. So I would do a month there, 2 months there, 3 months there, a year there. I was like, what is the point of learning Romanian? I'm not gonna stay here. Then I got hired, and I was like, okay, my apologies. Let's learn Romanian. And I've learned Romanian, and it was actually a really cool time. But in that years, I started listening to a lot of music, a lot of shows. So the first thing, kind of crazy. The first thing I did was listening to music, and I was listening to music for 8 hours a day. That lasted about a month ago, about a month. Then it was podcast. The podcast lasted about 4 to 5 months, but it was always I was at a point where I was only listening to recent podcasts, and because I was only listening to recent podcasts, it was often the same people. Then I turned to social media. So people like Nick Boga, Avocado Avocado, Casey Neistat, Angry Grandpa, McJuggernuggets. It was a lot of YouTube, consuming media. But the truth is, my addiction started when I started making content. Making content in ways that it's weird. Making content to push me to dive in, to be. You see, it's easy to be like a watcher, right? You watch, and you're kind of part of the show, but you're not in the show. When you produce the show, you're like, okay, I'm in. If I get burned, I get burned, you know? So that addiction is like, I want to create content. I want to put content out. I want to communicate. This is a escape. This social media platform is an escape for my thoughts. It's an escape from reality. It's also my only social interaction. It's also my only creative output. It's also the fact that whenever I'm making content, I'm enjoying myself, you know, and it's super important to me because this is the only outlet that I have. I should find some new outlet, sure. Is that gonna solve anything at all? I don't know. I have no clue. Until you know something for certain, you can only assume, and you shouldn't assume things in life because you'll be wrong. So yeah, this addiction is by how much I'm putting it, and I did mention I was putting in a lot. I was putting in blood, sweat, and tears, but that's my choice. It is my choice. It is my choice. I put too much of myself in it, right? So when I get hurt by people, by haters, of course it's gonna hurt me. However, if I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't see myself not. I wouldn't be able to not put in effort. I wouldn't be able to go all not all in. I wouldn't be able to just chill and be like, hey, it doesn't really matter if I'm not in. You know, if I do something, and I've been doing that for my entire life. Either I'm all in or I'm not in. I gave up everything. I gave up on karate. I gave up on swimming. I gave up on chess. I gave up on school. I had my diploma. The second I got the lowest diploma I needed, I stopped. There's something wrong with that. But everything I started, I stopped. Making content is my longest time form of hobby, which is insanity. But at the same time, it is what it is, right? Anywho, I love you guys. Take it easy. Have a nice day. Have a nice morning. Have a nice evening. Ciao.